dragons count as animals? I feel like that depends on the story, because I don't think you can count them as animals if they can like talk. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Victoria, and today I'm gonna be jumping on the whole TBR prompt jar picks my reads trend. Normally it's like for every month, but I am a definite mood reader, and even with going the prompt jar route rather than like names of the books, I know I'm not gonna want every book I read to be already pre-planned. So instead, I'm gonna do this for the fall season and pick out like 9, so that'd be 3 per month. And then at the end of the video, I'm also going to select a few that I know I'm excited for, and if people want to comment, then I'll go based off of the comments to decide which of those will be my 10th book. And then if nobody like says anything, maybe I'll just like spin around with my eyes closed and pick one or something. But let's get started putting this together. I have my paintbrush jar that I'm gonna empty out, and then I do have 30 or so prompts. I don't want to read them all out, but I am curious if y'all have any suggestions of more than I can add. So what I'm gonna do is list them all in the description. Okay. So I have my jar, and my cat apparently loves it, but now we just need to mix them up. Okay, so the first one is, an indie published book. I think I only have a few of those. Okay, so it looks like I only have 3 indie published books that I haven't read yet. I have Caring for Your Clown by Oleander Bloom. This was featured in a video that Reads with Rachel did, and it sounded interesting. So I bought that, but I haven't gotten around to it. And then I have The Flaming Serpent by Anne Armour. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that first name, but I picked this up at a used bookstore, I think. And it sounds right up my alley because it's very like Gaelic folklore. And I think I'll really enjoy it. But I think the one that I'm gonna go with is actually Elliot Brooks's Peace in Turmoil. I've been wanting to read this for a long time now, and I love like supporting YouTubers that I watch if they put any books or anything out. So that's gonna be book 1 for my fall TBR. The cat is messing with the paintbrushes that I spilled. On to the second book. And Fairytale-esque, not surprising. Okay, so I found 5 that I think count as fairytale-esque. This first one is the one I'm most unsure about. It's like kind of Robin Hood inspired. It's called Hood by Stephen R. Lawhead. And then one of my newer buys, A Wild Winter Swan by Gregory Maguire. Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. Kind of seems like a dark Little Mermaid retelling. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. And Enchantment by Orson Scott Card. I think I'm trying to decide between these last 2, Enchantment and Thornhedge, but since Peace in Turmoil is a bigger book, I think I'm gonna go with Thornhedge. Thought the cat was about to knock down my camera. I think I'm gonna go with Thornhedge just to like even out the playing field, I guess. For book 3. We're looking at 5+ words in the title. Okay. Okay, this one had a lot. Let's see, we got, oh goodness. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that had at least 5 in the title. Maybe next time I should do it for over 5. How many would that be? So if I put it to over 5, that would leave me with 4 options. Do I want to do that this time, or do I want to save that for next time? I don't know. Like, one of the ones that has 5 words is The Wrath and the Dawn, and I kind of want to read this. So I figure, like, the main point of this prompt jar thing is to make me work through my physical TBR. And so I figure if I'm getting excited about reading a book, I might as well just stick with, like, not try to change anything. So maybe next time I'll go up, I'll change it to, it has to be over 5 words, but I think I'm gonna add The Wrath and the Dawn to my TBR. All right, book 4, let's see. We have a chunky book. So that's gonna be like over 500 pages, I think is like the general consensus. Okay. This one also has a lot. We have 9 as well. I think this is another one that I'll have to adjust next time. Maybe I'd have to go up to 600? I don't know, that sounds a lot. How many of these are 600 plus? All right, so if I put it at 600 plus, that still leaves 6 of them. So I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. It just seems like that's what I'm supposed to do, I guess. So first we have The Throne of the Five Winds by S.C. Emmett. I don't know what any of these are about hardly, but The Once and Future King, The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This one I have read like, I think half of before when I was in like high school, but it's Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Game of Thrones by George R. Martin. The Desert Prince by Peter V. Brett. And The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. So Game of Thrones and The Name of the Wind, those are 2 series that I am really on the fence about if I want to read them, because, you know, you hear about how they're basically like classics, they're amazing, and I want to be able to enjoy that, but also both of them are incomplete for who knows how long. Like, we don't know if the series are even gonna get finished, so I'm kind of on the fence about if I want to start them. For anyone that's read these series, if you've read them and felt like it was worth it to experience them, even though you don't know if you'll get to finish the series, let me know. I don't know how I feel, but that's another one that I'm going to not do for this month at least. So that leaves us with 4. I'm not feeling Crime and Punishment, and I don't think I'm feeling like a classic right now. For this one at least, I don't think I'm gonna do The Once and Future King. So that leaves me to decide between The Desert Prince and The Throne of the Five Winds. I just read the descriptions of both of these and they both sound amazing, so I'm having a hard time deciding between them. I feel like I've heard of this author before, Peter V. Brett, and I don't think I've heard of S.C. Emmett. And that doesn't matter to me, aside from if I love this book, then I'm pretty sure there are others by this author that I can find and read. So The Desert Prince will be book 4 for my TBR. Book 5 will be a book by a favorite author. Awesome. Okay, I have 4 that I picked for this prompt. I feel like almost all of these kind of feel cheating in some way. The first one is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and this would be a reread. I have 2 here that would be rereads, but the Strange the Dreamer duology are literally my favorite books, full stop, at least right now. And I read the first book and I loved so much of it, but the world building was kind of weird for me, which I know is the point, but maybe I just need to give it another shot and like at least read the first book and then go into the second one for a little bit and see how I'm feeling then, because I really like the romance in this series, and the character development and everything I thought was amazing. So I do want to give it another shot. But the other one that I picked up for that would be a reread is Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. And this was my first book I read by her, and it is so good. And I would mainly just be picking this book up because I haven't read the books that come after it in the series. And it's been a little over 2 years, I think, since I read it. I think it's been closer to 3 years now. So for me to continue on, I really feel like I would have to reread it. I don't know. And then the next book is The Child Thief by Brahm. The reason why I wasn't sure if this counted as a cheat is because I've only read one book by him, which was Slewfoot, and I loved it so much. But can they be a favorite author if you've only read one book? I think not. I think that might be cheating. So I'm not gonna do that one. And then this other book is The Way of Kings Part 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I have it where it's split into 2 parts in the different books. And I'm considering doing this one because there's another video idea I want to do that I already had this book pulled to the side because I wanted to read it. So that's why I wasn't sure if it might be cheating, but I think I am going to go with this one. I think it'll help my motivation to get through all of these. And it also feel good, it'll feel like I accomplished more than one thing by reading it. So what is that? 1, 2, 3. Book 5, The Way of Kings Part 1. Okay. For book 6, it's a translation. I don't know how many of these I have. Okay, so I could be mistaken and I might have missed a few, but the only 3 that I know for sure are translations are The Little Prince by, I cannot say that. That is the author. But the next one is The Husky and His White Cat Shizun. This is what it looks like. It is a Chinese translation. Oh yeah, and you might know this because I feel like it's pretty well known at this point, but The Little Prince is a French translation. And this last one is Spice and Wolf by Isuna Hasekura. It's the light novel. I think I'm gonna go with The Little Prince because it's a classic and it's something I've wanted to read for a while, but I don't think, there's a sticker here. I don't think I'll read it unless it feels like a need to thing. It's just not something I reach for. So I'm gonna go ahead and have that be my 6th book. 2 more to go before you guys pick one. So book 7, oh, 3 more, my bad. And then you guys pick one. But book 7, it says, book with cover the color of my shirt. Ooh. Do I have any pink cover books? That was an abnormal color choice. Oh, I have at least one. Oh, never mind. I saw this side and thought it was a pink cover, but it's not. So I think I only have one book that has really distinct pink on the cover, and this one is horror, I think. It's Tender as the Flesh by Augustina Basterica. So that will be book 7. Okay. For book 8, it needs an animal on the cover. Apparently, animals on covers is extremely popular because I have 2 big stacks over here. I have 18 books here with animals on the cover. I think I'm in the mood for like a romance a little bit in it. And I remember The Piper's Pursuit had one that seemed actually nice. Like it didn't seem like annoying at all. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and reattempt The Piper's Pursuit by Melanie Dickerson. How many is that? So that's 8. So I pick one more and then you guys will pick one. A fantasy classic. Okay. I am surrounded by books. For this one, I wasn't really 100% sure what counted as a classic. So I went with either ones that were like old and well known, like the kind of ones that you hear being recommended by like past generations, I guess you could say. And I also picked a couple that are newer but have become such staple pieces of fantasy that like when you ask people, you know, I want to get into reading fantasy, what should I read? These are some of the ones that are always coming up no matter what. So I have The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, Enchantment by Orson Scott Card, The Mirror Prince by Violet Malin. I don't know anything about what most of these are about. From the Two Rivers, this is part 1 of The Eye of the World, which is the first book in the Wheel of Time. I guess for a while they did like a YA publishing of the Wheel of Time series, and with those they were splitting them in half. So like how I have with the Stormlight Archives where they split the books in half, that's what this is. Oh, and I really like them like this. I wish that they all were like this because they're less intimidating looking, and I actually think that the cover art looks pretty good compared to some of the other ones that I've seen. So that is something to consider because I haven't tried out the Wheel of Time series yet. It's one of those series that I want to read so bad, or at least try out, but it's so intimidating. Even knowing that I'm just gonna try out the first book, see how I feel, just knowing that there's 15 huge books makes it to where I just kind of avoid touching them. And then I have Wicked by Gregory Maguire, a classic, of course. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. That's one I was referring to when I was saying that it's just one of those ones that is always coming up as recommendations. And then I put The Once and Future King here just because it's obviously a classic, but I don't think that that's the one I'm gonna go with this time around. Since I'm reading the first, like part 1 of The Way of Kings for this TBR already, I think I'm gonna take Mistborn out of the running just because that's a lot of Brandon Sanderson. And I wanna give some of these other things a shot too. It looks like I have 3 thick books already from my other selections. So that would put me at 1 a month. And I think that's probably a good amount for the bigger books. I don't want to like get discouraged or just not fulfill my goal of like trying to read all of these, because this isn't just some like wish list. I'm actually gonna make this a goal to read all of them in the 3 months. So I think I'm gonna take out Wicked and The Fifth Season, even though both of these sound good, just because they are bigger books. So it leaves me with The Mirror Prince, Enchantment, and From the Two Rivers. So they're kind of like smaller ones. I guess if I'm gonna be doing classic fantasy, I might as well go with The Wheel of Time because it's like the name for fantasy, I guess you could say. The only thing I'm worried about is I know if after, let's see, 350 pages is what's for this part 1. I know if I read 350 pages of this and I don't like it, I'm not going to continue. And I hope nobody gets upset, but hopefully I do like it. Well, that is that all 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick out like 5 books and show them to you guys, and maybe y'all can let me know which one I should read. Okay, so I picked out 6 books that are all ones that I've heard a lot of things about, and I haven't read any of these. None of them would be like rereads, and I haven't read them even partially at all yet. I'm gonna do this based on like assuming y'all are recommending ones that you've read and loved. So I'm not really gonna go into what they're about, but I have Cureently by Susan Clark. Is it Suzanne? Susan? I'm terrible with names. But there's also The Magician's Daughter again by H.G. Perry. Sorry for the glare. The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. The Wolf of Oren Yarrow by K.S. Veloso. Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. And Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. So out of those 6, if anyone's read any of them and wants to comment which one you think I should read, then I will go based off those to pick the winner. I know I am a brand new channel, so I'm gonna wait like maybe 4 days and let time, like to give time for any comments that will happen. But that's all of those. The 9 that I picked out myself, to reiterate, are Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, From the Two Rivers by Robert Jordan, The Piper's Pursuit by Melanie Dickerson, Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bastarrica, The Little Prince, I'm not going to try again with that one, The Way of Kings Part 1 by Brandon Sanderson, The Desert Prince by Peter V. Brett, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Addy, Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. Okay, so those 9 plus the one y'all tell me to read, and that'll be 10 for September, October, and November. And I will do my best to actually get through all of those, and hopefully more, because I typically read a minimum of 4, typically more like 6 or 7 a month, sometimes more if I read a lot on Kindle Unlimited. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first TBR video. Have a great day. Bye.